It's a beautiful backyard sunrise with 3 hens who are out looking for food. They're pecking the grass that's growing inside of their small wooden coop. The rising sun is starting to cast its warm golden light through the trees, and it is a still quiet morning in the suburbs. There's a gentle breeze blowing, but it's not disturbing the peace. This is a moment of calm before the world wakes up. The chickens scratch around in the grass pecking for seeds and bugs. Their beaks are moving so fast it's hard to follow them. Occasionally, one will stop to dust bathe or take a nap. The sun climbs higher in the sky and the shadows grow shorter. The birds are getting ready to fly back to their coop for the night. They ruffle their feathers and tuck their heads under their wings. The wind picks up and the trees begin to sway. The sun dips below the horizon and the sky turns a deep red color. The chickens huddle together for warmth as the temperature drops. The wind howls and the rain begins to fall. The chickens run for cover, flapping their wings and clucking loudly. The storm rages on and the chickens are safe inside their coop. The camera pans away to reveal a wide shot of the backyard. The rain is coming in in torrents now, and the wind is really starting to pick up. There are a few bare branches on the trees, and the leaves are swirling around in the wind. The chickens are huddled together in the corner of the coop, shaking off the water that's dripping from their feathers. They look cold and miserable. The rain continues to fall and the wind continues to blow. The chickens are too wet and cold to move. They just stand there and shiver. The camera zooms in on one of the chickens. She shakes her head, trying to get rid of the water that's dripping into her eyes. She lets out a loud squawk and then falls over onto her side. The other 2 chickens huddle closer together for warmth. The hen that fell over doesn't get up. She just lays there in the dirt. The 2 remaining chickens start to peck at the dead hen. They don't know that she's dead, but they're hungry and they're not above eating their own. The rain keeps falling and the wind keeps blowing. The 3 chickens are picked clean. There's nothing left but feathers and bones. The storm has passed and the sun is starting to come up again. A new day has begun. This is a story about survival. It's a story about the harsh realities of nature. It's a story about the circle of life and death. This is a story that's been told many times before, but it's always worth telling again because it's a story that we need to hear. We need to be reminded of our place in the natural order of things. We need to be reminded that life is precious and that death is inevitable. We need to be reminded that we're all connected and that we all have a purpose. This is a story about the interconnectedness of all living things. The chickens were part of a larger ecosystem. They were part of the food chain. They were part of the cycle of life and death. When the chickens died, their bodies were quickly broken down by the scavengers and the nutrients were released back into the ecosystem. Nothing was wasted. Everything had its purpose. This is a story about the beauty of nature. Even though the chickens died, their death was not in vain. Their death provided food for other animals. Their death helped to fertilize the soil. Their death was part of the natural order of things. There was no waste. Everything had its purpose. This is a story about the importance of respecting all living things. The chickens were living creatures. They felt pain and suffering. They had emotions. They deserved to be respected. Even though the chickens were killed and eaten, they should be respected. Their lives had value. Their deaths had meaning. This is a story about the power of nature. The storm was a force of nature. It was powerful and destructive. It killed the chickens. It destroyed the coop. It ravaged the landscape. But the storm was also necessary. It brought rain to the crops. It blew away the old leaves and made room for new growth. It was part of the cycle of life and death, the cycle of growth and decay. This is a story about the resilience of nature. After the storm, the sun came out again. The birds sang. The flowers bloomed. Life went on. Nature was resilient. It bounced back from the devastation of the storm. It was strong and enduring. It was beautiful and inspiring. This is a story about the interconnectedness of all living things. The chickens were part of a larger ecosystem. They were part of the food chain. They were part of the cycle of life and death. When the chickens died, their bodies were quickly broken down by the scavengers, and the nutrients were released back into the ecosystem. Nothing was wasted. Everything had its purpose.